Let's do it. Let's jump right in.
Talk time. So I was listening to a podcast today. I finished it, right? I started listening to it last night. Now, one of the guys that I've listened to for like 10 years, he's been podcasting mainly about video games. He tweeted out something. He tweeted out, just to give some background.
Colin Moriarty.
Yeah. Yeah. You're being a cuck saying that, but it actually is him. That's the only name you know that I listen to, right? This guy, he's very opinionated, right? He tweeted out once. It was one of the hashtags on Twitter that day was like a day without women. Do you remember that protest? And everyone was tweeting out like what would happen if we had a day without women. He tweeted out, peace and quiet, a day without a woman. Talking about his girlfriend, right? A fucking joke, right? Like a mild fucking joke. And he was a part of like games media, they call it. And everyone else fucking threw him down, started calling him a sexist. Like websites like Business Insider, if you ever read them, a famous website, like called him a sexist. Like fucking nonsense, right? They started to just destroy this guy for no reason. It was a fucking joke. We say much worse things than what that man said.
We definitely say some off-color things, but it's like, imagine Black History Month, someone saying something about black people.
Yeah, but Black
History Month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but where's the line drawn? Like, no one can make a joke nowadays. Like,
I feel like as a public figure, especially someone from the gaming industry, which is kind of in the past been notoriously sexist.
Yeah,
like that's kind of, it has, I don't know, worse implications than if
that's why it happened. It's like, to me, it's like a fucking joke. Like, whatever. Anyway,
glad equal rights are
so fuck you.
Pardon my French.
But so he left and he started his own podcast where he talks about anyone, right? So this week he had on a girl who he called Jane Doe because they didn't want to reveal her information. She is an LA sugar baby. That's what they call it. And Jasmine, I'm glad you're on for a female perspective on the show, something which is we don't normally have. And she is dating a man. They kept everything completely anonymous. She's dating a man, or I don't know if you want to say dating, but seeing a man, and she is paid $7,000 a month. They go on like 2 to 3 dates. She needs to be on call whenever he wants, but apparently he's very generous. He'll let her know when they're gonna hang out, and she's paid that every month.
So he's like a sugar daddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's paid to go on dates. She has sex with him. She says she really likes him. He's very generous. He's a venture capitalist. He has, they wouldn't say how much, but millions upon like millions of dollars, right? And they met on this website. I can't remember the exact name of the website.
SugarDaddyMatch.com.
It's basically like that website. She is 27 years old. He's 57. So he's 30 years older. And that's the facts. And it got me thinking about, and maybe I'm a little bit biased because this guy Colin, who Nick brought up, I feel as though I'm aligned with a lot of his feelings.
Love him.
I don't love him, no. I don't agree with everything he says, but he's the reason why I got into politics. He's the reason why I started paying attention to the election, because he's very much involved with that. And that's his passion. And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have paid attention to this election as much as I did. And he is fully in favor of like prostitution being legal, right? And to me, even I think without him, I would have said the same thing. And their whole conversation was, it's not prostitution, right? Like if you want to look for it, technically, if you try to go by like definition, she's getting paid, they're having sex, but they're not in a relationship. Maybe that's prostitution. But if someone wants to prostitute themselves, why is anyone to say anything about what they can or cannot do with their body if they're going to make money,
or
right?
What they can and cannot do with their money.
Not only that.
Like if someone's born smart, are we supposed to stop them from pursuing science if they want to pursue science? Or we're supposed to just stop them for pursuing like liberal arts if that's what they want to do? I don't believe in that. It's your body. If you're not hurting anybody else, the fuck does anybody care? And
as long as it really is your choice, you're not being pressured into it.
And that's what they started with, where it's like he used to preface like, I understand like young girls, right? That's why they say it's a bad look.
Yeah, you can't.
If young girls are prostituting themselves, obviously it's not a great thing. Or if someone's growing up and I want to be a fireman, right? That's a thing for boys growing up. a girl says, I want to be a prostitute, people are going to look at that in a different way. But if it comes to a point where you can't provide for your family without having to do something, who am I to say anything about what you're choosing to do? So that's like the gist of the topic is our thoughts on, like, I guess, prostitution. But I thought this was like a really interesting story to listen to from a girl who's doing it herself. And to me, I mean,
If I was her, I'd ask for more. If he's that rich.
so I'll enlighten some more stories. So she was getting paid. She asked for a raise. So she was getting paid $4,000 a month originally. They started going on dates, and she did say, like, nothing was off the table with her in this interview. Like, he was able to ask her anything, and she would answer. She's like, I don't care. I'm an open book. She says a lot of people won't talk about this thing, and she doesn't like that, right? And that's because everyone views it in such a stigmatized way, which is bad. She was really getting paid like $4,000 a month. She asked for a raise. She asked for $10,000, and he was like, "Oh, good for you! Like you went like above and beyond." And he said no, $7,000, and they eventually cut a deal.
Negotiations.
Yeah. But she says, like, he really is like a really generous man. She wouldn't admit that she's like that she loved him or something like that, which I was kind of waiting for to see if she would say that. She didn't say that. But she said she like really cares about him. Like, he goes above and beyond. He'll like offer some of his houses to some of his friends. Like, he's so rich that he doesn't really have a car. He flies his jet to places. So he's obviously like multi-millionaire. But like, what are your guys' thoughts on like the whole spiel there?
I think, any of those like black market underground type stuff like prostitution and drugs, I think would be safer because if people want to do it, they're going to do it, right? At the end of the day, no matter what
it
in
is,
place,
yeah.
no matter what the morality.
You want to make guns
is,
illegal, someone's going to find a gun.
Everyone's going to get everything if they have the money for it, right? So you create a safer environment by allowing regulation, by allowing things to be safe.
I agree
So
completely.
while there's such a moral stigmatism against prostitution, drugs, etc., it'd probably be safer in the long run for the people that are going to do it anyway, right? So
Then how would people in government be so rich?
what do you mean?
Ooh.
Without
Well,
all
he's
the
saying-
drug money.
Yeah. All the.
He's saying like people
yeah,
protesting
yeah,
why it should be illegal.
Yeah. But no,
That's the truth.
I agree. But in actual like realistic safety, from a safety perspective, everything would be a little bit better. Like, at least you're going to the drugstore, you're getting weed that's not laced with stuff. In theory, you're hoping that the same regulations exist. You're having prostitution, you have to worry about someone attacking you because the room is whatever.
And it was interesting to get to because immediately when I saw the topic for the show, I was like, all right, so what's the deal with them having sex? Like, it sounds stupid, but I was like, it's so out of my realm of like what I encounter every day that I wanted to know the like details of it. And it sounds kind of dirty, but it was like, I can't imagine myself having this type of money to be put in this situation to be even pursuing anything like this, right? So I was like, how does someone get to that point? And it was just like the first time they met, she didn't get paid. They went out and basically had a date, and they evaluated each other, and then they felt comfortable. And then the next time they met, she was paid. Sex things happened,
Like a job interview.
basically, and then they did that. But like and I believed it in her interview where she cares about him. So to me, it's like, what the fuck's wrong with that? Like, I don't like. Why is anyone else able to have an opinion or judge somebody else for doing that when it doesn't affect you? It doesn't affect anyone in this room. What the fuck these
can be
two
used
people
for
do?
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's your body. What the one guy was saying, and the guy Colin was like, it's not coming off immediately, but he was like, you're an attractive woman, right? Like, you have these skills. Some people don't have those skills, if you want to put it as like the word of a skill. He didn't say that exactly. I'm paraphrasing. But he's like Nick, you're a smart kid, right? You would be smart to use your smarts for your personal benefit. You'd be stupid to not use your skills as a human, whatever you were gifted to do that.
Okay.
If this woman was gifted with good looks, she was also gifted with a personality, because obviously this guy wants to spend time around her. Like, if she was just for looks, it wouldn't be what the obligations that they have. So she has a personality. Why wouldn't she use that? That's my argument too. It's like why is prostitution illegal? Why are we grown up viewing prostitution as like this nasty, dirty thing? And that's what I had more of a problem with when I started to think about it, is like, I was grown up and I was taught prostitution is like a dirty word, right? Why?
Because usually
I
it's
feel-
surrounded with like drugs and pimps and
That's
Disease.
that's not.
That's also the
regulation.
lack of like regulation involved with it.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna be mixed in with anything else. It's not.
Yeah, but why is that because of like media and like shows and movies? Like, why the fuck is that even a thing? Because do you see on the news like prostitute
Well, I think
was in trouble for trying to have sex with
Well, I think it's also
prostitution rings like underage kids and fucking shit like that. But
I think it's also because sex in itself is just like a taboo thing
Yeah.
in culture. So
But that's what I hate about. That's it's so.
it's mostly America.
That's what I'm saying.
Not just America, but Europe is more freeform about
Yeah.
it.
That's what I was gonna say. It's so
Like
stupid
in-
to say, but like the number one thing I hate about America is like our taboo thing with sex. And
Like,
like I've
I
always
also
been.
hate racial inequality, but that's
No, I know. No, but I know. Like, but listen, personal conversation like sex comes up more to me than like racial problems, right? Like people talking about sex. Like to me, I've always been the point. I'm a big fat ugly dumb troll. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck talking about sex. Like I don't get why it's such a taboo thing. I respect you if you want to be private about it. That's fine. But I don't. I hate that it's always been viewed as like, oh my god, like we're talking about that. Isn't that like a weird thing we're doing? Like what the like everyone does it. Fun fact, like everyone engages in some facet of it. So why are we
beat
gonna
the shit out of your dick.
exactly? That's the only reason you're here, Nick. Your parents had sex. I don't
I
know
know.
if you ever knew that,
Yeah.
but they did.
They did.
They did.
Banging the headboard against the wall.
We don't need
I don't know the
details.
details.
23 years ago,
4.
24, Nick.
24. Oh, right,
old.
you're 24
I'm
now.
old,
right.
man.
Fuck, your birthday's coming up. You're about to be
Yeah,
24
yeah.
too,
24,
motherfucker.
man. Yeah,
Next
we're
week.
old.
Shit.
Next
I'm
a
gonna be
week
20.
exactly.
I already
from
bought
now.
my plot.
Christian, what?
29, older than all of you.
You're a little fucking baby. I will put you up.
He looks the oldest out of all of us.
I'm
That's the
younger
funny
than
part.
him.
Okay.
I'm 23, but
Okay.
like a month younger.
Okay.
He looks the oldest out of all of us.
Mike, yeah.
Yeah.
With the facial hair, absolutely. I don't know.
27.
Christian looks pretty old.
I look
Christian's
pretty
got some
old,
facial
yeah.
hair.
He looks a little old.
I like some face wrinkles going on.
You want a fun fact? That wasn't a high five. It was actually, if I was allowed to say it. I went to the liquor store with my mother like 2 weeks ago to get some wine. She was already engaging in some
got carded?
extracurricular activities. No, but she bought the wine. I picked it up to hold it for her, as a nice young man would do. And the woman behind the counter said, "Are you allowed to hold that?" I had just shaved the night before. Are you fucking kidding me? You don't think my big ass is over the age of 21?
I got carded yesterday.
Did you really?
No way.
The first
I
time
actually don't believe
I
it.
ever went to buy liquor in a college
I
town
didn't
where they
get carded
card all the
first day
time,
either.
didn't get carded. I'm like, I could have been fucking doing this the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah, I didn't get carded on my birthday.
No, that happened to me for a while, but it was like I was with my fucking mother and I wasn't even buying the alcohol. I was just holding it for
Yeah.
her, and they're gonna say something to me.
Yeah.
I never get anything.
The
said
funny
to
thing
me.
about that is I think you only have to be 18
No,
to actually hold it.
you have to be in the
You
store.
have to be 21. Yeah.
I remember that being a kid. My mom didn't know that was a thing until I explained to her.
Wait, isn't
Two
there
weeks
like a thing where like you can be 18 to like transport it though?
Yeah,
Or
and
some
serve it.
shit?
Yeah, if, like
might be
you're
able
at a
to drive
restaurant,
it,
Yeah, like
you can handle
have
it.
it on you.
You can be
Like,
18 to be a bartender.
No, I mean like all right, like
In the store though, like they're pretty strict about the
say
whole-
you were 18 and you like your passenger was 21 or older and they were buying stuff for themselves. But like if you got pulled over, like it's okay that the alcohol was in your car.
I think at 18 you're allowed, but it's like a weird.
But if you were like 17, like and you had your permit
No.
or whatever, and you're with someone that's like older and they bought the stuff, I think you'd just get in trouble.
I mean, to me, we need to do a whole nother topic on this show because it's so fucking stupid to me that at 18 you can be given a gun, go tell it to go kill for this country, but you can't drink a fucking beer. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Back to prostitution. Mike, what do you think? Or Christian, go ahead.
I feel like we're all pretty much on the same side on this. Like, I feel like there's not a lot of disagreement here.
Right, but
all.
okay, all right.
We
So
usually
go
are
ahead.
an echo
Take
chamber.
take that though, right? You said echo chamber. Think about all your friends who aren't like. I'm sure you have a lot of friends that like maybe I wouldn't get along with, right? So Nick says echo chamber. Like we're all similar. That's why we're here, right? Can you think of more people that would disagree with prostitution being illegal than it being legal? Right?
I think
Probably not.
reactionary wise, like in the moment, like, oh no, of course not. But like once you break it down, I think maybe more people
I
would
feel like-
be.
So why the
willing to
fuck
hear
is it
that.
viewed that like that's the point I'm getting at? Like
Well,
why?
if it
Because
came
it's
down-
emotionally
if it came
charged.
down to,
It is
numbers,
reactionary.
I mean, old people would automatically just say it should be illegal for no reason at all. They wouldn't even have any thought.
I mean, I'm not really even including.
that's
them.
like
I'm
this-
talking.
just
Yeah,
That's just like the social stigma of sex.
Yeah.
Like that's
but
just
they
how
wouldn't
they
even
grew
think
up.
about it. It would just be.
that's why like I'm so excited to see what the world's gonna look like in 20 years once like our generation is taking over everything because there's so many old school thoughts that run
Or
this
it's just
country.
the-
and
And they're
well,
still
it's also
going to
just
be,
the fact
unfortunately.
Of like school budgets being passed, and like old people probably do the same thing. They're just like, nope, don't want to pay more taxes, but they don't even put any like thought into it. It's just like
Our high school was decrepit and falling apart, and every year we hear the same story.
It's like
the
you're
old
gonna-
people in our town outnumbered and turned it down, which
Yeah.
is why we have the same.
and
shitty
it's like
school.
you're gonna complain about like the fucking rapid epidemic of kids doing fucking like heroin and shit like that. It's just like, well, people do become a product of their environment. If you don't like give them a better learning environment,
No.
shit's gonna go downhill. It's proven.
Broken glass theory.
Wait, are you talking about the window thing?
Yeah, I might have
Yeah.
said the wrong thing, but yeah.
What?
if
No,
you-
no, I know what you're
I
talking
don't-
about
yeah.
the broken window theory.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
We're
actually
kind
know
of the
this.
same.
It's
Mark.
basically the theory. It was some mayor of New York City, right?
I don't remember
De Blasio.
where it came from.
There was some mayor of New York City that like basically said that it was the broken window theory where like he would fix broken windows in like broken down areas and like it would just make it kind of look better and it was just kind of like this whole ground up thing where like once he fixed the infrastructure like these buildings and stuff it kind of built up from there just like and affected people's lives.
I thought you were-
I can't think of it
I
more
thought you were talking about like you
eloquently.
can't stain shit, which is another thing. That's another quote. Like you can't stain like a piece of shit. Like, you can only clean it up the best you can, but you can never get it perfect. Like if something's bad, you can't make it perfect. I guess that's a quote one man once said. Never heard of that? No. Good talk.
Nope.
You can't polish
Got
a
nothing to
turd.
say.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard
that's
that
it.
one.
All
You
right.
can't stain
Wait,
shit.
is that the phrase you're thinking
That
of?
was the phrase I
You
was
can't
gonna say.
polish a turd.
You can't stain.
the shit. What the fuck are you saying?
He's out of his
I've had a
mind.
beer too. Been up since 3.
You have actually.
Yeah.
I
Brandon.
hope that's the title of this podcast.
You can't stain a shit.
Jasmine, what are your
Because
thoughts
the
on
shit
this?
can definitely stain stuff.
We haven't heard your thoughts.
Um,
I don't.
Well,
Again,
you want to be a prostitute?
yeah, totally. No, I think it's like it should be regulated. Like if you made it legal, you could regulate it.
Yeah.
And like then you can track like people getting tested and cuz that's a huge thing too.
absolutely.
Like and I'm like losing my words.
Customers, like God forbid something
Yeah,
goes
it's
awry.
just it would make it safer for
Yeah.
everybody cuz you like the women don't have to worry about getting assaulted and the men don't have to worry about catching an STD. And then you can also like the pregnancy rate that would come out of this would
Whoa, we're not just talking about women though.
Yeah, there's
There should be
also
male
male prostitutes. yeah.
Right. Well, like when you think
This
of
is
prostitutes, your mind
2017.
just jumps to
Yeah.
women.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know.
Like there are men out there, but it's more of a women's world in that aspect.
Yeah.
And yeah, like then just like it would just be better because you don't have to worry about these children that are born out of their mom being a prostitute and then them growing up in an awful area and it just kind of repeats the cycle of these children being born into an awful life. Their mom's a prostitute, nobody knows who the dad is. It just kind of would make that all better. That's
this-
my thought on it.
And it's a confusing thing for me too, where it's like what you were saying, and to me, it's the same argument. Marijuana is like with our government, and everyone looks at how fucked up it is, right? Why don't they just want to make money off this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
you make tons of
tax
money
it.
off
Exactly.
of
I
the,
Tax
think they make more
prostitution.
money off of criminalizing
Yes.
people who do
Yeah.
it though.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's an argument,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a good argument
but
actually.
it's like
Yeah, but what was it? I think Colorado, like one summer. I mean, it's like probably
I know what you're
nothing
saying, yeah.
compared to it, but still, like Colorado one summer made like $5 million, I think, in taxes.
They were the
in
or-
one summer
from legalizing weed.
from yeah.
I think they were the only ones at the time who had done it though.
So yeah, people were probably
True.
flooding in from every state.
but
that
like,
could-
like so we're
Yeah, so yeah, just ruin people's lives and get money.
but
Doesn't matter.
that's what I was gonna jump to
Yeah,
next,
yeah.
right? Like we're arguing for making more money when if you look at the details of what's making more money, it's like people choosing to live their lives how they want to, people going to jail and making more
Yeah.
money. It's like you could still benefit from people choosing how to live their lives and making some money in the process of it.
But you benefit more from criminalizing them and
on the numbers on a fucking Excel
Well, we
worksheet.
also lose too because of the taxes you have to pay for them being in jail.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. On the opposite way.
Because these people that are selling weed are going to jail longer than rapists.
I think in our lifetime at
Laugh
this
tune.
I've had a beer or 3.
You know, laugh.
Ew. That broke Christian.
3.
I think in our lifetime we will actually see prostitution become legal.
I can see that.
I can see it.
I think more so towards the end. I think there's much more bigger battles to be won right now. Like transgender rights.
But
I
also, like, human trafficking is such a epidemic right now that
Yeah.
it would
it would
like,
benefit to
yeah.
like do that sooner.
I watched this
to legalize prostitution and
I
regulate
watched
it.
this documentary. Atlanta, Georgia is the 3rd biggest human trafficking like city in the entire world. Like, we beat third
crazy.
world countries.
That's-
And it's Atlanta, Georgia.
But,
Like, it's
like,
such an epidemic.
That thing I haven't put too much like attention to. I watched like one video of like Ashton Kutcher speaking out for it because he's
He's
very
big activist in it.
activist in it, and it's like it pissed me off because it's such a big problem that no one talks about. Like,
No,
you don't
not at
fucking
all.
grow up. You don't even know what the fuck human trafficking
Nobody-
even
nobody
really means.
wants
I didn't know
It's
about it
such a
until I
taboo
watched
topic.
Taken.
Yeah, like you don't want to
The
believe.
It makes people
Mhm.
uncomfortable.
No, you don't believe it actually happens. You think it's like
Well, it's the
You
same-
want to turn a
it's the
blind
same-
eye
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
it.
It's the same
People
thing
want
with
a blind eye.
slavery in other countries.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
nobody wants to talk about it because it's uncomfortable as shit.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't believe people are still doing that shit.
it's fucked.
Like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think transgender rights are going to be the next one that we could finally get into reality, and that everyone could wrap their heads around and let everyone fucking live the life. They don't bother you. Why the fuck do you care? That's always my argument for all these things. If it doesn't affect you, why are you fighting for it? Just let people live their lives however they
Because
want.
people have boring ass lives.
I mean, to me, that's like the end of the day for almost anything. It's like
Yeah.
I feel like that's also one of those just generational issues. Like
It
we're
is.
just definitely gonna, as a society, we're gonna grow out of it.
yeah, that to me, that's like the next fight. I feel like it's so stupid to speak from a straight man's perspective, a straight white man about the perspective, but like the gay and lesbian fight, like we've won a lot. Like they've won a lot of those battles lately. Like it's finally legal in this country. Like they have a lot more options than they did say 5 years ago. So I feel that's why I say transgender next. I forget which one I was going to go after next, but then I do feel
say
like
drugs.
marijuana, drugs. That was
drugs probably.
yeah,
would,
marijuana next.
I mean, at the same time, there's some shit that's gone too far. Where you said the same thing, like where if it's not affecting you, then like why do you give a shit? But the people that are saying they're like gender fluid, it's like, all right, let's relax a little bit.
I feel like that's also another thing that wouldn't affect like people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't
I
bother
know,
me.
but like,
Like, does it ruin your day at the end? Like, at
sits
night,
there
do
and
you
But
think
does it do
about
anything?
It?
Does it do anything more than just
Yes,
kind of
dude.
bother you a little bit?
but like,
Like,
I'm,
if
I'm heating up right now.
Uh-oh.
Well, I think I know what you're trying to get at. Like at the end of the day, I feel like in
Like,
some
dude,
type.
no, like, all right.
How much accommodation-
I'm
No,
not
I know what
trying
you're
to be
saying.
an asshole. I'm just trying to speak my mind. Like, at that point, I think it's honestly a mental problem.
yeah, and mental health is
Like,
such a
you-
taboo
Yeah.
topic as well.
Like, you know what gender fluid is, right?
Yeah.
Like, you wake up and you could be a boy or a girl. That's what they say. You don't know.
You could wake up and wear a red shirt or a white shirt. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right?
It's just
What
like
does
I
that
don't know
have to
how
do
you
with
feel.
anything?
The
The
argument
point is, like,
the-
you choose other stuff about your appearance, your
Uh-huh.
personality, your persona.
Right, but you don't grow and lose a vagina one day or the other.
That's like
I get what you're saying, and to me,
Sex-
on paper, my argument for this, what you're talking about, is that I wish it to be easier for that person dealing with that, right? Like if someone's going through something,
Yeah.
it might sound stupid from my perspective, not having that option in my head. I'm attracted to women. That's it,
Easy. Done.
right?
But
But-
you
but
can
to
be
me-
bisexual.
Okay, and that's fine. But I would rather the person, for their mental state, be established in whatever it is than be, as you're talking about, gender fluid, where they wake up each day. Because to me, that puts more stress on them each day. If they want to do that, that's fine. I would just hope that they're able to get to a point where they're able to decide so that they don't wake up with stress or they don't wake up with like this angst of what am I attracted to this day or what am I this day. If they're able to pick whatever the fuck they want to pick, I don't care. Just pick so that each day you don't have to wake up with this being a thought in their head.
I'm trying to say like why can't it just be labeled bisexual? Like it's been around forever. Like why does it have to get more complicated? Like why do these people have to like?
I mean, I'm sure when
Complicate it
bisexual
more.
started becoming more common, people had the same argument. Like why can't you either just pick straight or gay?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
bisexual is just this whole new thing.
Ambiguity. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it is the same thing.
Yeah, and I think we're just the fucking stupid society is still not ready for
I
that
think
to be like
people
an
are just
answer.
trying to
yet.
be more special than the next. Like I don't.
I understand. I do get what you're saying too. Where, especially now, like kids growing up, like it sounds so fucking stupid, superficial thing to say, but it's like that it might be like I don't want to say cool thing, but like a different thing for someone to say they're bisexual because it's like that's the topic right now. Where if kids are growing up and maybe they're just a little unsure, but back in the day it used to be that they were 100% unsure where they didn't know what they were trying to do. And if a kid nowadays is like a little unsure since everyone's talking about it around them, they're like, oh, I'm bisexual. And now maybe that's overblowing a kid that's actually bisexual or someone that's actually trying to figure out.
You get that a lot
I
with
know. I
girls.
see what you're saying with
that
that
are-
respect.
You get a lot of girls that are like, oh, I'm bisexual, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, have you ever like been with a girl? And it's like, no, I just like
No,
the
I
way they
just-
look. And it's like that you can like the way somebody looks. Like I think girls look pretty sometimes. That doesn't mean I'm bisexual.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
also-
they just randomly hooked up with a girl at
Yeah.
a party.
But
so
I
they
also don't
decide
think
they're
like to be
bisexual.
bisexual, you need to necessarily like have to pass this test where you need to like get
Yeah,
with,
right.
like,
It's on
No.
something. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's also more stigmatized. Like we're at a party, girl hooks up with a girl. People are gonna think about that way differently than a guy hooking up with a guy. For some reason, it's still stigmatized as like,
yeah.
It's double
oh,
standard.
she's
Yeah.
bisexual, but he's gay. Like he's fucking
Yeah.
clear as day. He's gay. Like that's just fucking stupid and narrow-minded to think about. And I'm sure if you would have asked me 10 years ago, like that's just part of the growing up. Like we all said gay. And fucking
Yeah,
gay was
that's
stupid.
definitely part of the generation.
Yeah,
that grew up
That's
in.
what I'm saying. We're all growing up. We're all getting past that point. 20 years. It's gonna be fucking fun to think about. Prostitution gonna be legal? Yes. No. Yes. Marijuana gonna be legal? Yes. All these topics are probably gonna be a thing of the past. And something else, though,
I hope
will
that's the case.
something else will inevitably be the next thing.
Yeah.
1 week we're gonna have a shooting with a fucking domestic terrorist. A week later, everyone forgets.
Well, usually
That's it.
those things like happen and the media blows it up because the government is trying to pass some kind of law that they don't want anybody seeing to vote against it. It happens all the time and nobody realizes it.
Net neutrality right now.
December 14th.
Yeah.
We're-
Something's gonna happen.
Something's
They're gonna
gonna
cover something
Yeah.
and just distract everybody from it.
That's it. All right.
All
We got really intense. We're
Yeah,
about to get
that was,
more.
That was cool.
That was a good topic, right? We're about to get more
I
intense.
have to before we get more intense. Can I go pee?
Yes, we'll pause.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching or listening.
Please subscribe to our channel.
Go into the description of this video to like and follow our social media pages.
Bye bye.